Tony Dorsett is still on the ground.
It reminded me of a Mack truck hitting a Volkswagen. I mean, he just blew me up. They call that a knockout. My memory, it's getting worse and worse as the days go by. My short-temperedness, I'm really short-tempered. It gets worse. It's painful, man. For my daughters to say they're scared of me. I'm too smart of a person, I like to think, to take my life, but it's crossed my mind.
Chad, I remember when you played on special teams. By definition, special teams are a kamikaze on there, but you were particularly good at it, and obviously you played linebacker. Do you look back and say, after 4 years of playing big-time D1 and my time in the NFL, what have I done to myself?
Yeah, I have recently. Not so much in the past couple of years, but recently after seeing all this. And I mean, watching Tony Dorsett speak like that, if that doesn't tug at your heart a little bit, I mean, you're not human. I do. I look back and I think back to all the kickoffs that I ran down on, which are not like today where they kick it in the end zone. I mean, they were coming out, and by the way, they had walls, and they were coming from the sides, and you didn't know if you were going to get hit here or here, and you got to throw yourself in there. And, you know, I'll say with some pride, I was pretty good at what I did, and that's probably why I made the team, was I stuck my head in there and blew things up. And now I look back at it and I say, well, you know, and I have 4 boys, and you know, my oldest Jack plays ball, and I have concerns, and I watch him, and I make sure that if I feel like he is sustaining too much trauma to his head, or if he's sustaining too much damage, I'm pulling the cord. I'm pulling him out, and I haven't seen that yet, but I am cognizant of it, and probably more so than I would have been, you know, 4 or 5 years ago. Harry
Carson once sat there and he told me, he said to his son who had a full ride to Clemson, he said, if you play, our relationship's over. And he said, that's what it took here for me to have my son not do it after all the damage I saw through some of the people he played with. I got to imagine somebody who knows it's got to be a tough calculation.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. If they want to play at a young age, I'll let them play. And as time goes on, I'll see where they end up, and I'll see. Look, if they're going to be a kicker, you know, it'll be a kicker.
The only thing I worry about is apparently Klecko in the locker room. But on a broader level, we all know how the lawsuit shaped out. The one thing that struck with me was the league made a point, and they've enforced it on helmet to helmet, and they're trying to do stuff with technology. They changed the kickoff, I think, a part of this and all the rest. They say their first priority is player safety, but they wouldn't turn over 20 years of records or have any admission of guilt. You wore the shield. How much of this is CYA on the NFL's part?
Maybe it's a little bit of both. And that's a gray tightrope to walk. It's, you know, you've got one of the greatest, most profitable businesses in the world, and people watch it because it is violent, and there is a sense of danger when you do watch it. These guys are putting their lives on the line. So how do you regulate violence? To be perfectly honest, I don't like the kickoff the way it is. I think you can change some rules and make it more exciting, but yet less of an impact on heads. I do think that if you really wanted to change the game, take the face mask off, because you see a lot of these hits that are being delivered are coming from a guy using his head or using something right about here.
Look at rugby.
You know what?
Right.
Look at rugby. That's a really violent sport, but you don't see those head traumas that you see in the NFL. Will they take off the face mask? I doubt it.
Chad, you were awesome tonight. Thank you very much.
You're
Pleasure
welcome.
getting your perspective here. Dom and Andrew, guys, thank you so much.